Hello, good afternoon. My name is Dylan Baker, along with Hannah Lautenschlager, Sydney Russell, Jake Swinehart, and Lee Musgrave, and we make up Team 15 for Business Communication online class. For our team evaluation, we had the pleasure of observing Team 16, who consists of Kasia Riemberger, Selena Snyder, Kristen Beavers, and Josh Osterman. So we observed them on Slack and kind of the way they worked as a team, and here's some of the results we found. So for frequency of participation, so for how many times each person individually posted in Slack and as a team, Selena posted 37 times, Josh Osterman posted 55 times, Kasia Riemberger posted 0 times, and Kristen Beaver posted 47 times. So looking back and observing how many times they did, we noticed that Kasia posted 0 times. She was also put in the group later on, around like the beginning of November, late October area. But for whatever reason, she did not post anything. But a total team participation was at 139 posts. Some more things that we found. We observed the team participation in some categories. So out of that 139 posts, seems friendly. About 12% of those posts seem friendly, so that was above average compared to other groups. Dramatizes was about 2%, which was below average. Agrees with each other, 5%, which was also below average. Gives suggestions to one another was above average at 8%. Gives opinions to one another was at 38%, and that was below average compared to other groups. And then gives information was about 15%, and that was above average. So as an overall group, they worked pretty well together, seemed friendly, and gave information to one another. And that's some things that we found.
Percentage of total observed team participation continued. The team overall asks for information above average at 15.83%, and they also asked for opinions above average at 4.32% and suggestions above average at 3.6%. There's no comments in Slack that they are disagreeing with each other, so that is below average at 0%. They show tension in Slack below average at 0.72%, and they seem unfriendly below average at 0.72% as well. The first interpretation of total team participation after looking at all the communication on Slack. After looking at Table 2, Team 16 seems to be friendly, informative, and they ask for opinions and information regularly. They give information and asks for information. It gives information and asks for information have the highest percentage overall. Gives information is 38.13% and asks for information is 15.83%. An example of giving information is when Joshua said in Slack, under the Assignments tab within Blackboard, it is in the Team Communication Analysis memo. Download that Word doc and the links are in there. He made this comment whenever someone asked about the personality test. Then the second example is about asks for information, and this is whenever Kristen said, is this group assignment something that each of us has to post on the website, or we just discuss what to put in it and one person actually makes it for the group?
Our second interpretation of Team 16, we saw that things seem to be unfriendly or below average include tension, unfriendliness, and dramatizes, which shows that Team 16 really did work well together. For example, this category for disagree, shows tension, and seems to be unfriendly are all under 1%, so which is very well. Example number 1, seems unfriendly. Selena said, he's supposed to be on soon, but I'm about to get off. I'll be back tomorrow to help you with whatever you aren't doing. Which I think could have been said without the last line in there. And example 2, it shows tension. Kristen said, I have a feeling it's going to be just us two working on the project again, which is hinting at others not working. Percentage of team participation by each member. Selena Snyder, She participated 26%. Josh participated 39%. Kaeja participated 0%. She had no post on Slack. Kristen had 33%. And that was the total for the participation. And now on to the interpretation of Team 1 by participation.
Our interpretation after looking at Table 3 is that 3 out of the 4 team members communicated very well. Kezia had no participation, and the other team members should have encouraged her to participate. Our data example is that on October 27th, Kezia Rieberger joined 231 Team 16 by invitation from C. Gilstrap. On October 7th, there was no evidence on Slack that she communicated with the team. As it is said that there is no participation that we could see through Slack, that doesn't mean that she didn't talk to them through texting or phone calls, but from what we saw, she did not participate with the team. Our second interpretation of Table 3 is that Selena, Joshua, and Kristen showed to have an equal amount of participation throughout the 9-week course. There seemed to be a little tension and unfriendliness, but for the most part, everyone got along. Joshua seemed to take lead with the group along with Kristen. They had the most percentage of team effort that they had shown throughout the 9-week course. Now, for our data examples, we showed how Joshua and Kristen seemed to take charge of the team. The first example is by Joshua, and he stated that anyways, even though we were a little late on our submission, I feel we came together well as a team. It may not help us much, but tomorrow maybe we can discuss some of the questions within the memo since Celine was added in last. I believe with her addition, it kind of drives the team toward a more feeling and less analytical direction. He was showing lead by stating that he thought they would come together well as a team, and that he thought they were doing well and trying to encourage everyone that even if they missed an assignment, that they could still come back from it. Now, our example 2 is by Kristen. She says, "Hey, has everyone done the assignments because it's actually due Sunday and we need to combine our work for submission in this channel?" She showed that she cared about the team and wanted everyone to do well. She didn't just do it herself, she made sure that everyone knew what they needed to do and that they needed to work together if they wanted to have a good grade. Joshua and Kristen really seemed to be the leaders of the team and held the team together well. Selena followed shortly after, but Joshua and Kristen seemed to have put in the most effort.
And with that, we have a couple suggestions to improve future team interactions. First one is meet in person at least a few times. This is generally going to help. Not everyone is good at just doing things online. I certainly am not. It definitely helps to have a face to put with each person that I'm speaking to. That generally makes me feel a little bit more included, helps me know, hey, I'm helping this person, I'm letting this person down if I'm not doing something. On top of that is make sure each member is putting in the same amount of effort. We really found that this is important, so maybe mitigating tasks, having someone kind of say, hey, can you do this, can you do this? Obviously, it's not going to be everyone's going to do the exact same amount of work, but if you can get it close, that's a good thing. Also, on top of that is make sure everyone feels included in the group. We noticed that some of the people that weren't necessarily engaged in the project very much or were responding very little, they weren't really getting asked questions. I think that's honestly one of the best ways you can do this. Ask those people, reach out to them, see what their opinions are. Maybe you can get them to be a little bit more included in it. And obviously, last thing, make sure all your interactions are friendly. Don't want to be rude to people. Don't treat them like crap just because something might be going on in their life that you're just not aware of. But with that leads us to final thing, our lessons learned. So the last thing is we communicate efficiently within a group. Obviously, this is really important to make sure that your work is done, that everyone's being included, and obviously that everyone's thoughts and opinions are also out there for everyone to at least consider when they're doing their stuff. Number 2 is make sure you're using your online resources to communicate effectively. This is going to be important because with Slack and stuff like that, if everyone's not on board, it makes it very difficult for everyone to comfortably get along with everything. And third and finally is be understanding towards other team members. Obviously, everyone has a personal life. Everyone has issues that they're going to arise in their life. I certainly have in the semester, but trying to reach out and trying to be accommodating and helping people so they can help you with everything, that's generally going to make your life a little bit easier. It's going to make their teamwork better, and it also just helps overall. But that is our conclusion. Thank you, and have a good one.